fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scallion, we can't buy time. You can't fool me again. Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. Hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. You touch up line and a resort to crime. You can't fool me again. What people to eat no money, what people at you eat no at you. Covid money miss away in the little rat you. Use the youth the money waste for must a man to statue. Say me like a catch you but bigger than a figure you. Take the script of money gal and say that it's not you. One day the man above end up in my gut up. Too much it in the kitchen, some a fly by like a patu. My singers and DJs and social media's coming at you. It burn me 300% raise. It burn me garbage pile of the day. It burn me give the teacher them raise. It burn me I see corruption face. It burn me mash down the people them house. It burn me every day appear arms out. It burn me appear money them a thief. It burn me and them a sell out the beach. Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scallion, we can't buy time. You can't fool me again. Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. You touch up line and a resort to crime. You can't fool me again. Come me say big up all the charities and all of the givers. Some a go like say them powerful, me no make a bigger. The already promises, none of them not deliver. Cut up the youth, they rap and they down in our fever. Member bold money and they lie them tell. Corruption smell and they pocket them swell. When police don't a market like Satan out of hell, go mash up people start and thief when them sell. It burn me. Or they treat the market man. It burn me. Or them a treat the cat man. It burn me. Or they treat the peanut man. It burn me. Or them a treat the dirt man. It burn me. Or them a treat the sun man. It burn me. Or them a treat policeman. It burn me. Or them a treat soldier man. It burn me. Or them a treat everyone. Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scallion, we can't buy time. You can't fool me again.
I say a couple to the flex they represent for Wayne Global TV. So I say, you know the code in the Wayne Global TV is what fully blessed on 90 days. So I say, yeah man, to the fullest. Yeah man, make sure them log in to Wayne Global TV. So I say, check it out. So I say, one cup of flex. So I say, Wayne Global. When you watch you know, feel my plan up and I try to put them on it and we head. But man, I live too long, them want Wayne Global fitted. To him juggle so smooth that them want him life for dread. I chew the bank, I like the break, but we ain't all about the bread. We open up in the ears and don't listen when we said, cause we lyrics them so smooth like the linen on the bed. Them one with a fall, chill living on the edge, I must say true, we make this them. We in Global TV, we are 90, and 90. Who Jaja bless, say no man can curse. Give it the Range Rover, who no drive years. Boom! We in Global TV, to the fullest one cup of excellence, see me?
Good morning and welcome. Thank you for joining us. We're back in our London studios. It is your Global Television Group and your At a Glance program. Good morning all and welcome. Let me know if the audio is okay because I detached my system, used other system and now reconnecting and sometimes that malfunction. Is the audio coming through clear? Let me know. Thank you all. Good morning and welcome. Thank you. Thank you. Good morning. I didn't even realize I've taken off my branding. Just 1 second, please. I did malfunction my system. Yes, that's the one I need to use. Good morning. Let me get back in the comments. You clear, yes. Good morning, all, and welcome. Good morning to my community of party and all my family members. Good morning to moderators, platform membership holders, and subscribers. Good morning, all, and welcome viewers and commenters. Natalia Freeman, good morning. Good morning, Debbie Jervis. Good morning and welcome. Sophia Grant, good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Patricia Matthews. Sunshine, good morning. Cousin Jeremy, good morning, good morning. I know you're busy. Sim, good morning. Elaine Turner, good morning, good morning. Natalia, good morning, good morning. Marcia Thomas, good morning. Beaton Teach, Wagwan, good morning. Good morning. Miranda Roddock, good morning. JP, sorry. Good morning, good morning. Good morning to Kamar Johnson, Jason Kane, Marcia Este, Abina Scott Cody, Annie Jones, Blue Waves, good morning, good morning. Baron Mitchells, good morning all and welcome. RJ, good morning. Good morning. Plain Truth, good morning. Marcia Este, good morning. Pamela Okola, good morning. Bros, good morning, good morning. Yvonne Johnson, good morning and welcome. Rosemary Samuels, good morning. Shauna Smith, good morning. Perspective Power, good morning. Miguel King, good morning and welcome. Good morning, Turner Flavor, good morning. Violet Watson, good morning. Good morning, all, and welcome. Thank you for joining us. Let me make a bit of an announcement. Drive Time London program. I'm not giving up on Drive Time London, but during the summer period, Drive Time London is going to be limited. Claudette Silvera. It's going to be limited because the truth is, this time of the year, I will not sacrifice the sunshine for anything else. And when I'm dealing with the sunshine, I'm just dealing with the sunshine with Evans. So when the weather is very nice, I'm not going to really sacrifice because for the whole year, we're in a house, droopy like favor. And for the 2-3 weeks of sun where we're getting in England, I'm not going to compromise it for anything. So Drive Time London will be limited throughout the summertime because we need the vitamin D and we need to come back to life. You know how flowers bloom, this is our time of the year. So Drive Time London will be limited throughout the summer. But the morning program and the evening program will stay consistent. It's just Drive Time London and me and soaking up the sun. So help me, please help me to understand that it's not that the program will be abandoned or we won't have it now and again, but during the summer period, the decent hot days, then it will be limited. I want to make a clarification because I often see and hear people in public conflate two different things, though similar, together. And it is, as Izzy Holder, how are you? It is political activism and social justice activism. These two different ideologies serve differently. Michelle Clark, how are you? The political activists deals with their political ideology, their political party, and their political agenda. That is the political activists. The social justice activist is quite different, where it's about justice and fairness for all, regardless of any other encumbrance, culture, gender, politics, religion, whatever other pigeonhole or price tag that comes with the person, that social justice, the person, the individual or the group, or that social justice is concerned with. So social justice and activism and political activism is not to be confused as the same. The similarities that exist is that we talk about the politics and the politicians of the day, but with two different agendas. The political activism agenda is a more narrow agenda in political ideology and party narrative, whereas the social justice activist is about justice and fairness for all, regardless of anything that might come after the act. So they must not be conflated. I am not a political activist. I'm a social justice activist, Delroy Henry. I am not aligned to any political party. I am not here to present the agenda of any political party. I am here to present the agenda of Jamaica, the agenda of the people. Mavis Forbes, good morning. If the People's National Party is to be held and thrown up against the wall, they will. If the Jamaica Labour Party is to be held and thrown up against the wall, they will. If public servants and public office holders are to be held and thrown up against the wall, they will. This is social justice activism, not political activism. So I just want to be clear on that. The liberty continues. Something I personally always want to know and have asked for in public has surfaced. As Granny would have said, you don't need to light lamp. Or you don't need to strike matches stick to know say Grace McLean a thief. It presented right in front of her. Looking at Grace McLean, I look good. Look good in a Grace McLean eye and tell me if Grace McLean a thief. Which part in a Grace McLean eye suggests that Grace McLean isn't a thief? Help me here. Which part in a Grace McLean eye would suggest that Grace McLean is not a thief? But even though they give us these figures, I'm rather confused by the contractual agreement and arrangement with these civil servants. Have to be paying criminal like Grace McLean, thief like Grace McLean. I don't think Jamaica have far forget Wasara. It just tumble down every day. So, okay. On a prosecutor, then did to pay back. She did to pay back some money. On a whittle hit down. I saw it go beat and teach down. But my problem is, if Grace McLean was in the private sector, Grace McLean would have breached her contractual duties and arrangements, and thereby with the missing unaccountable, though they call it, stolen, we call it, funds. from the new product in the Ministry of Education, as permanent secretary Grace McLean was then. What is not there to dismiss Grace McLean from the Ministry of Education? It is the question that the nation needs to start asking. What is not there? Bringing the office into disrepute alone demands Grace McLean sacking. The unaccountable funds demands Grace McLean sacking. Why are we still paying Grace McLean? Not only her, but why are we still paying Grace McLean to sit at home? Is there a disciplinary? Is there an ongoing disciplinary at the Ministry of Education with regards to Grace McLean? Dr. Cousin-Chope and Favour Williams need to answer these questions. Is there a disciplinary proceedings against Grace McLean at the Ministry of Education? Why is Grace McLean still being paid by the taxpayer, Dion Johnson? J. Lovely. Why is Grace McLean still being paid by the taxpayers to sit at home after stealing 124 million from the education budget? The Ministry of Education need to answer to the public as to whether there is an ongoing disciplinary proceedings against Grace McLean. And if there is, what time are we looking for a wrap-up to this proceedings? And if there isn't, then why is Grace McLean not reinstated or sacked? After all, we pay countless a thief for thief and work. It is not right for us to pay a thief to sit down. So if we have to pay a thief like Grace McLean, then Grace McLean ought to go back to work. Or is Grace McLean working from home? Is Grace McLean still providing advice to the Ministry of Education, Dr. Cousin-Chope? Is Grace McLean still providing advice to the Ministry of Education? Novlet Denton Prince, Sonia Ingleton, Okini Dixon paid a total of 36 million from February 2023 to March 2024. So between these three people who are suspended or sent on leave, we would have paid each of them Annie Smith, Lloyd Williams, 12 million each for the year, isn't it? Oh, no, help me, no man, no, some dons. 12 million out of Jamaica taxpayer money. Somebody who's on suspension and we don't know when they might come back at work. If there's a ongoing disciplinary proceedings, Sharon Powell. 36 million between these three civil servants who are sent home or on leave. Sent on leave or suspended. Sorry. And we, the taxpayers, are still funding their permanent holiday in the millions. They may not thousands, you know. They may have millions where pay people for sit down at home, cock up them foot, can go from beach to beach, resort to resort. At home. Courtesy conscious, good morning and welcome. 12,000 each, but at 36,000 divided by 3, not 12, and 12 million each. And this is a 1-year salary because it's from March 2023. From February 2023 to March 2024. And these wouldn't be their full salary, you see. I wonder how much we pay them full time. Because normally when they do this, they are like on an 80% or so pay. And this is what taxpayers' money are paying people to sit at home indefinitely, Lewis Hanson. To sit at home indefinitely, and we don't know what proceedings are ongoing against these people and how long. Because if you notice, this headline says, taxpayers foot mountain salary bill for 7 officials sent home, acting in their absence. To send home officials, whatever it is. Okay, just a 9, Herbert Hughes again. But look, Dr. Grace McLean, between October 2021 to March 2024, the dishonorable McLean, 16 million of your taxpayers' money. Ongoing. Not done yet. Ongoing. Grace McLean is still being paid. We don't know when Vernon Adams, Grace McLean, Augusta get paid. We don't know why Grace McLean is still on the payroll given the circumstances, or if we still have to be paying Grace McLean in the millions, why Grace McLean is not back at work. A whole heap of thief were paid for what Grace McLean wouldn't be any different from any of the other thief who were out there pay. One of which I've been questioning also, and I think he's on an 80 to 75% of his pay, Jeanette Riley, is Mark Barnett. Between October last year to March this year, how much a month? Oh, no, help me, Colleen Stewart. Between October last year, let me count my finger, because I have to go back to school. November, December, January, February, March. 5 months, isn't it? Over a 5-month period, we have paid 13 million to Mr. Barnett, who was found to be in breach. But because time has passed, Jesus have mercy, we under it. We meet it. We have paid 13 million to Mr. Barnett in the last 6 months. I know going like Jamaica broke. How Jamaica feel broke? If we have so much for pay a thief. Jamaica broke for poor people. Jamaica broke for honest people. When it comes to criminal and thief, Jamaica no broke. Marlene Garden. When it comes to criminals and thieves, Jamaica no broke. Over a 5-month period, we pay Mr. Barnett 13 million. And we're still yet to know, because time has passed for NEPA and Parla, I think, but not for the cases, MC or whoever. And we're still yet to know if Mr. Barnett will be punished or be find liability for his breaches by KCMC, or at what point Mark Barnett is going back to work if he's going to keep his job. And if Mark Barnett keeps his job, does that provide the office with integrity when a man who was found in breach of planning permission, although being given stayed by NEPA and the Director of Public Prosecution to avoid prosecution for his breaches? KCMC needs to answer as to whether they will be leveling fines or charge, if necessary, at Mr. Barnett. Sean Martin, 6.1 million from December 2021 to March 2024. Calvert Sutherland, 10 million from December 2021 to March 2024. Why are these people, Precious Allen, still on public servants' payroll? What clause are in these people's contract that protects them after such flagrant breaches? Because nobody in the private sector would have this protection. All of us who works in the public sector, we know that. Dennis Hall, good morning. All of us who works within the private sector knows just by simple bringing the organization into disrepute is enough for the organization to remove you. There is enough to remove Grace McLean. I don't know much about the others. OPPS official, how are you? But there is enough based on what I know of the Grace McLean case and the Mark Barnett case. There is enough to remove those two from office. Is it because Grace McLean may have secret for Andrew Holness? Because remember Grace McLean walking by Andrew Holness and Mother Foster Allen with the teeth in, though? Real black woman, Dorothy Brown. Remember, sir, Elaine Foster Allen and Andrew Holness did there with the teeth in. And then Grace McLean come in and say, well, go on, and decide, say, me I lift up basket loads too. Because me know their secret, and none of them can say anything to me. Grace McLean have to have secret for somebody. Why Grace McLean is still being paid after Grace McLean stripped poor people picnic of 124 million. Agency driver 5, wagwan. After Grace McLean stripped poor people picnic of 124 million. In the last 3 years, we have paid Grace McLean $16 million to sit at home, Lana Emery. Then if we have to continue to pay a thief to stay at home, we might as well put the thief to work. A whole heap of thief we pay for work. This one won't be any different from all of the other thief them. What would they pay? Can the People's National Party help us to put this question to the Minister of to Minister Matthew Smoother in relation to Mark Barnett and to Favour Williams in relation to Grace McLean? Veteran, wagwan. You turn about up one drink till I run out for you this morning. No, tell them say one drink, tell them say source of water. Because when you talk about one drink, tell them say source of water. Anyway. So Grace Veteran, leave me alone. We're asking the People's National Party, Damian Crawford, please help us to get this some answer on the Grace McLean issue. I believe I have spokesperson thingy there. Me no remember who a spokesperson was shadow Matthew Smoother, but please help us to ask these questions as to why after these breaches, Maxine Cummings, after these people were found to be in breach, though they have not been prosecuted, what is preventing the ministries from getting rid of these, or the NWC or the Ministry of Education, from getting rid of these employees that has been one in breach, in relation to Grace McLean, missing millions, were ordered to pay back money and them fish swipe through it, forget it them own way. But we're still paying Grace McLean 16 million in the last 3 years ongoing. Mark Barnett in the last 5-6 months, we've paid him 13 million. And then we're going like we're broke. See, one of that 3 year, we pay them 12 million each for the year to sit at home. What clause in their employment contract that protects them? Or how long the suspended people are being suspended for? The ones sent on leave, how long? We're going to go through these millions of salary to people sitting at home, going on holiday, looking after themselves at the expense of poor people? But let's move on to Blunder's basket. Let's move on to Blunder's basket. I'm going to repeat this. I've said it before, I think, but I'm going to repeat it. Everybody who goes to law school have to study, which is some core areas Then you can study some optional areas. You choose if you want to study that area or not. But there are some core areas which every law student have to study. The English legal system is one of them. That is an overall understanding of the English system, the hierarchy of it, and how it works, from court structure to offices, to officers of offices. And you also have constitutional law. All law students must study those two core areas. There are many other core areas which you have to study, but I will speak of these two in context to Paula Llewellyn, Delroy Chuck, and the Attorney General. Likewise, the Minister of Constitutional Hybrid Presidency. Inner Circle, good morning. No matter how dunce you hear them come out in public and speak, they are not confused. It's not because some lawyers may be constitutional expert, but all of us who go to law school must study and pass constitutional law. There's no excuse around that. And within your further study of the law, this is why you have to do those two Novlet Lake and understand those two, because if you lost understanding of the English legal system, if you do not understand the constitutional structure of governance, and another core area as well where common law is introduced is contract law. Without a clear understanding of those, you would struggle with what is called the substantial subjects in law, such as your criminal law, your law of tort, and all of those other areas. So these are your basic, which if you don't understand them, you're going to be confused going forward. So either the Attorney General, the Director of Public Prosecution, the Minister of Justice was confused from their days at law school, or they are deliberately misleading you, Mitchie. And I would hinge to the latter, Carol Roberts. It's a deliberate ploy to mislead you. Now let's deal with Paula, because a lot of people is confused by Paula O'Neill Gale. The age of 65 retirement for Director of Public Prosecution, as amended by the Constitution, as the Constitution was amended by that piece of legislation, the court accepts that. Paula Llewellyn is now 63. Albert C. Christopher. The age of 45 retirement accepted by the court does not, I repeat, does not, and I'll say it again, does not apply to Miss Llewellyn. It never has, because the law doesn't work retrospectively, doesn't work in reverse. It works going forward prospectively. So it never, the age of 65 retirement in the first place could have never applied to Paula Llewellyn. Why? Paula Llewellyn was already on her final extension permitted by the Constitution, was given to her in line with how the Constitution dictates it, an agreement between the government and the leader of the opposition. By the time of that amendment, G, how are you? By the time of and the amendment, Paula is in her final term, which was the extended term. Therefore, the new legislation couldn't have applied to her. It never applied in the first place, even though accepted by the court, Janet McIntosh. It still doesn't apply to Paula Llewellyn. It applies to DPP going forward, not to Miss Llewellyn. Miss Llewellyn is subjected to the old constitutional rule of retirement of age 60, but can receive an extension before her 60th birthday. So this does not apply to Paula. Paula is hanging on to the office because of salary and perks. Constitutionally, Paula should have resigned. Grace Clinton. Constitutionally, Paula should have resigned September last year. So Paula Llewellyn holding on to the office is about perks and salary. Paula will not return as Director of Public Prosecution. Whatever they're holding on to with the judgment, and however much of you, the taxpayers' money, they are going to waste, I am 90% certain that the court will not either accept jurisdiction or they will uphold the ruling of the Constitutional Court. The duty of the court is not to go around the Constitution, but to uphold it. The duty of the court is to become a guardians against tyrannical ruler like Andrew Holness, as they did in that ruling and other rulings of Andrew Holness's constitutional violations. So this blunder is a waste of your taxpayers' money. Buying time, Michelle Lewis Wilson, with a law that does not apply to Paula. Paula must do the decent thing and retire. She has constitutionally retired. The court says this does not apply to you. The law also says it did not apply to you because it cannot work in retrospect. When the law was amended last year, you were at the months before your resignation, which should have, your retirement, which should have come in September last year. So Andrew Holness, Paula Llewellyn, Delroy Chuck, Derek McCoy, and Minister of Mixed Race Presidency, hybrid, mixed race. You're mixing two separate things together to form as one, presidency. And they're all of the view. Now see how misleading Delroy Chuck is. A declarative judgment is the Constitutional Court declaring what the law is. And Delroy Chuck told the public that they're going to ask the court for a stay of execution, knowing full well, as Minister of Justice, that a stay of execution does not apply to a declaration. They keep running with an argument. Oh, the court didn't make a ruling. The court did make a pronouncement. Yes, the court did. The court said the correct way to extend the tenure of the Director of Public Prosecution it is an agreement between the Prime Minister and the leader of the opposition. It is what the Constitution says. The court doesn't have to pronounce that this doesn't apply to Miss Llewellyn. The law says it doesn't apply. The court declare what the law is. The court declare what the procedures are. So to be flying up in the face of the Constitutional Court with something that even when they took this legislation to Parliament, they knew they were in breach. The reason why they took that legislation to Parliament and took it in the dead of night is because they knew they weren't going to have Mark Golden blessing to give Paula Llewellyn another extension. And then Andrew went in the dead of night with his majority vote in the legislature and Senate and make it into law to extend, to give the DPP the choice of deciding whether she wants to retire before 65. So you see how cleverly they crafted it. They moved the employment, the retirement age up to 65. The court have no problem with that because you have to look at changing society. People are living longer, and those issues, the court would accept that, okay, young 60-year-old these days are 40-year-olds. So you can put them another 5 years up before we start paying them pension. It makes sense on that level why the court would accept that's an acceptable amendment to the Constitution. But to amend the Constitution so a current DPP can decide whether she retires or not before 65, the court says not so. The court says it must be done. The only way it can be done, it's between an agreement between the Prime Minister and the leader of the opposition. No amount of appeal is going to change that. That is what the Constitution says. The court is not going to go around the Constitution to the whims and fancies of the Prime Minister. It's just not how the court and the Constitution works. It is why the Constitutional Court slapped back that piece of amendment. It's unconstitutional. It is null and void. It never happened. That means Paula extension never happened. From September 2023, Paula been holding on to the office under that piece of amendment. Legislation never happened. It don't exist. So Paula has not been in existence as a DPP since September last year. But rather than saving the integrity of the office and go on with the little integrity that she has left, Paula Llewellyn is holding on to the office for salary and perks. Because until she is retired, she's still being paid by the department, by the office of the prosecutor. Until she is resigned, she is still on the payroll of Ministry of Justice. You know, see where this thing is going, people? I'd be a waste of money I go around with, you know. I'd be a waste of money I go around with everybody we pay for all little salt of a galangin. But let me ask Matthew Samoda and Floyd Green something. 2 water trucks provided to aid farmer in St. Elizabeth impacted by the drought. St. Elizabeth has one big parish, you know, people, and it is a big farming parish also. 2 dege blue chuck. 2 dege blue chuck. When you don't see some madness a go on. St. Elizabeth, we're full of river and fall and springs. St. Elizabeth don't need water chuck. St. Elizabeth do not need water chuck. What St. Elizabeth need is irrigation and distribution. Likewise, the entire Jamaica. St. Elizabeth don't short of water. Don't get it twisted, people. This is social engineering, engineering difficulty, engineering hardship, engineering poverty. It's all social engineering. Social engineering drought. How can you have drought on an island full of wells and rivers and springs and falls? Ella flavors. How can we be in drought in a country where we're full of rivers, springs, falls, wells, and all sorts? You can barely dig a grave in a Jamaica where you don't have a pump for pump out water. I've always been saying, why not don't look internationally when it comes to do our farming? There's an excellent system working across Africa, which is called the borehole system. Why don't we do that irrigation system? As I travel TV, good morning and welcome. Why don't use that type of irrigation system to aid our farming communities across the country while we get island-wide an island-wide irrigation project? It's all engineered. Those of us who grew up in the 70s and 80s know that water distribution, when we have standpipe, we did have better water supply and better water pressure, albeit we don't have to get a standpipe, go catch it, car home. Carly Richards, good morning. Carly Richards, rather. Goshen has the most wells, yet the community of Goshen has no water. Goshen, St. Elizabeth, as I travel. As I travel, Goshen, St. Elizabeth. Listen, I'm always of the view, properly irrigated, St. Elizabeth can provide water for the whole of Jamaica. If properly irrigated, the whole of St. Elizabeth will go to water problem. No go, so it's all a lie. I create it. When we there grow up, through a community, they'd have a whole heap of standpipe. We did have our own pump house in our community attached to a river, we Cassie River. And there was a spring at the river what we call Springhead. And though I did standpipe days them there, are those who could afford a standpipe in a them yard, finna walk public standpipe, we had better water pressure and better water supply. All of these nice bathroom where we have now, we can't shower in them. Only those who can buy water put in them tank, pan them house. The whole of Jamaica full of water, Wayne. The whole of Jamaica full of water. That's why you know, so the drought argument is a lie. It's social engineering. It's one of their arguments that they're conjuring because, you know, they have this new climate change agenda that they're pushing. and the engineered drought is to reinforce the climate change agenda argument, because that is one of the new agenda that the World Health Organization is pushing upon us as well. So all that is to reinforce that agenda, to say climate change, we're having drought in an unusual time of the year. It's all engineered. Even if we're not having the proper rainfalls, we have so much rivers, falls, springs, and wells that if we harvest and irrigate and distribute those water, we don't have water problem. It's a created crisis, deliberately also. You dig 30 to 40 feet most places in Junction. Not just in Junction U, most of Jamaica, especially those of us in rural Jamaica, especially those of us in Jamaica and low-lying Jamaica. Right across St. Elizabeth, you could have be a very few places you go find where you go dig a grave at St. Elizabeth. And by the time you get 3 feet deep, you not find one spring, just a spring up water. So whole heap of time we dig grave, we have to get pump. To pump out water while we dig grave. So if our politicians and our public bodies and organizations are listening, the borehole system across Africa is effective. Why not introduce that on throughout our agriculture system? So that alleviates a big problem in our agriculture. Flight Green don't care about them something there. Flight Green said, Flight Green and whoever said, 2 green chop, 2 blue chop. And them have the right, the nerve to put the name on it. National Irrigation Commission Limited. Backwards priority. Backwards priority of this government. Me not will ask for Juliet and Andrew up to, because, them throw tande powder at them foot, and them not have nowhere going. Them take up space. Them a hold space. Them a prevent accountability. Them a prevent integrity. And all sort of galangin. But just in case you never hear, the scammer them step it up a gear. In case you never hear where I'm going, the scammer them step it up a gear. They might do it differently now. How am there? May I go come to your APCA? May I go come to National Dons? Radio mouthpiece stunt politician. But the scammer them take the scamming to a different level. A debit card belonging to an elder woman in the residing in the United States was allegedly used by a scammer based in Jamaica to purchase a new Mercedes motor car in Japan and to cover shipping costs. So them take it up a notch now, where them can take over control of your credit card and do them lavish spending. Them take over your credit card and them do them lavish spending. So be aware there's a new high-tech level of scamming deployed all over the place. But Upco Fitz-Henley, and this is another narrative again from the government when they cannot implement a crime strategy. They rush on the narrative in the public of harsher penalties for convicted murders. Danette Warner Wagwan. Danette was parring with me on Friday. Thank you very much for your company and your support throughout Friday, Danette. Thank you very much. Danette is one of my West Midlands fan. An avid domino player at that as well. So thank you very much, Danette. The issue here is that we do not need harsher penalties. We need in the justice system where cases are taken through the justice system more expeditiously, rather than justice being delayed and forgotten about for years in the system by just going to court every day and being given a new court date. Joan Sinclair is one of the things that need to be focused on. Police investigation skills and tactics, Florence Hamilton, need training and improvement. Digitalization of the way we collect and store evidence and data. It's not the harsher penalty that is going to make it work. What needs to make it work is enforceability of what we have now. It is one of the greater part of what is lacking in our system of crime fighting or across our justice system is lack of enforceability. Having all of these laws on books, Black River alone, natural reservoir. Let me tell him, Albert C., Black River can supply Jamaica with water. A whole heap of river we have in a St. Elizabeth. But them create all of this hardship and have people that believe say a joke this and that because they want to drum a climate change agenda down your throat. What special thank you, veteran? I mean, I talk to. I trouble you there if you make this man, you know. You can't go on. I trouble you there if you make this man in. So we don't need further legislation go sit down on books doing nothing. We need proper investigation. You can go on, veteran. We need proper investigation. We need a lot of upgrade in our system of policing and investigation. We need to have a lot of different investigative techniques such as forensic, improve on our telecommunications, improve also on the legalities of evidence gathering, as we often see case get thrown out of the court because of how the evidence was gathered and police breach or police breach during their evidence gathering process. A whole raft of training need to be done across the JCF. What we often see in public is that law enforcers haven't got a way of communication. They haven't got any de-escalation skills. Shisha them. No investigation skills. They've got low communication skills. They've got zero de-escalation skills. They've got zero public relation skills. They don't know how to deal with the public. So there's a lot of things that need to be done at those levels rather than legislating harsher penalties. Harsher penalties do not prevent crime. What prevents crime is preventative measures, is preventative policing, proactive policing. That's what will work. Expeditious procedures through the court system rather than having case languishing for years and people never get justice. These are some of the things that increase or jungle justice behavior we see across the country. We have a far way to go with strategies and implementation rather than keep creating harsher penalty. Harsher penalties do not work. Change your police, your law enforcement tactics. Look at what is not working in the justice system. Those are the things that would bring change. Not harsher penalty. It really doesn't wash. America has the death penalty. You see the much? No. A child, an 8-year-old was perished in a house fire in Grange Hill. And the mother is being arrested. Jamaica have a westernized approach, and I think we need to, when it comes to child supervision, we need to have that American approach where supervising a minor means that minor is not out of your sight. There is a piece of legislation operates in only 3 countries, Jamaica, the US, and I think Canada. The Child Endangerment Act. It's a piece of legislation that protects the child from even you putting that child in danger. It protects the child. It is meant to protect the child from potential danger. It's meant to be a piece of deterrent act. What I would want to see enforced in Jamaica is that supervision means supervision of minor. Real sweet. Supervision of a minor means supervision of a minor. Mean they are not out of your sight, even when they're sleeping, because you might never know when they wake up and go for a wander. In that case, these can limit some of our children being destroyed in house fire. So while you now look at the laws, look at things like these, one can enforce. Supervision of a minor means supervision of a minor. It no means say because your 8-year-old asleep, and this is just hypothetically, you feel over neighbor, sit down and chat with neighbor because your 8-year-old asleep. That's not what supervision means. It means that child must be in your sight at all times. The minute that child is out of your sight and anything happens to that child, any danger or potential danger to that child, you are liable for child endangerment. So I think it's a law that needs to be promulgated, as they call it, but it's to be introduced to the public so the public widely know that that piece of legislation exists, is still in force, and it's a deterrent to protect children from negligent and exposition to danger. So something where the government, the Child Protection Agency, and it would be all the different ministries that have to do with children, must make it sure that island-wide it is known that this legislation exists, Norman Ferguson, and it's a deterrent from bringing harm to a child or putting a child in danger. And you can be still prosecuted under this legislation for even putting a child in danger, even if the danger does not come to the child, but just the fact of putting the child in danger. So I think that needs to be widely known across the country so parent can know what supervision of a minor means. But I am back in London for a few days. I will be back in the West Midlands by Thursday the latest. I will still be doing programs, but I am going to be there. And the veteran know me not drink, not drinking. People veteran upset with me because over the weekend in Birmingham, I decided not to drink, and I did not drink because I didn't want any alcohol to drink. I wanted water, and I drank a lot of it. All right? You can go on. But I'm back in London to look after my plants. I need to look after my potato them, because I have my potato them on my plant. So I come back to look after my plant them, wash out my dirty clothes them, and take another set and run off with. But thank you very much for being here. And walk and tell everybody, say, don't worry about Paula return as the DPP. As Bada Cat said, that now go happen. Walk and tell you, say, Paula Llewellyn is the retired Director of Public Prosecution. Albeit she don't hand in her retirement letter yet, but constitutionally, even though she hang on and I get the perks and the pay, Stacey. Even though she hang on for the perks and the pay, Paula Llewellyn won't be coming back as your Director of Public Prosecution. The integrity of the office is damaged enough, not to mention the integrity of Paula Llewellyn. If the appeal court want to prove that they are mad, then I'm sure the Privy Council will be waiting to show them that this madness must stop. So thank you all very much for being here this morning with us. Join us back this evening for the people's point of view. Sun look nice out the door there. And we have to enjoy every mickle and muckle of the sun. How we are going to get our bar you when it's the same corrupt government? Have her bar up in there. We need crowbar for dig her out and we need backhoe for jog her out. We will have to drag this woman out. How was she there? We will have to drag her out, kicking and screaming, because one thing me know, this year, nah go quietly. This now go quietly. It will be a tug of war between we and her. But say you heard it on Global TV, there's no way she's returning as the Director of Public Prosecution, Hugh Bottom. Constitutionally, she's retired. Whether she want to hold on for the liquor pay or whatever, the age of 65 retirement does not apply to Miss Llewellyn. Does not. So them can go and blow hot air. All we have to do is turn on with air condition and wait. Because I'm sure I'm hungry. I'm going to eat something to eat now. I'm sure the court is going to slap them back, as the court always does in this tyrannical government attack on the Constitution from time to time. Thank you. See you all this evening for the people's point of view. Good morning from London.